Oh boy, don't you wish you jumped into NIO when it was just about $2 or $3? Well, I've got an alternative for you. It's in the electric vehicle space. It's an interesting one. And if you're going to get in, now's the right time. So you're going to want to stick around for this one. Welcome to Stock Flicks. If you're new to the channel, this is the place where you get the best in class stock picks. I'm a former investment banker turned educator. Love talking about stocks and shares, with hopefully the aim of making you some money. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This channel's only for entertainment purposes. Now I've got an interesting one for you today. Company we're talking about is Electromechanica, ticker symbol SOLO, Solo. Now, if you liked NIO's returns, if you're an early adopter of NIO, if you missed out on NIO, you would have seen a huge growth in their share price, and they only started from the low digits. Now they're touching $50. Well, this company, they're about the $6 mark, and they have been $2 just a few months ago. So it's an interesting time. I'm going to show you the analysis of why this company might pop, and there might be an opportunity to double your money pretty damn quickly. So let's jump in. Let me show you Solo. So if you don't know Solo, they are a manufacturer of electric vehicles, but with a twist. They have very quirky designs. So this is their Solo model. And as you'll see, the striking feature is the car only has 3 wheels. It's almost like a mixture between a car and a motorbike almost. Now, you will notice that the car only has 1 seat as well. So it's pretty quirky. It's like nothing else you'd see on the road. So this means it's incredibly light, incredibly small, incredibly easy to get around. And that's what they're going for. They're going for the target market, which only does short trips. You know, they're trying to be a very economical way of moving around. Some highlights of this car: they can do 100 miles, which isn't too bad for a car of its size, 80 miles per hour. Some of the more interesting things to me is the fact that you can charge this car in only 3 hours. So it really is a very convenient model. You can just see how easy it is to park the vehicle, how easy it is to move around. If you compare the 3-hour charge time to a Tesla Model 3 charges in about 7 hours to a few days. So it's very practical, easy to get around. It's an interesting vehicle that they've produced. Very low maintenance. Another interesting point is it's cheap. It's like about £18,000, which compared to a lot of other electric vehicles is on the lower side. So that's what they're going for. They're just going for something ease of use, move around quickly, very economical. So this car is never going to be a Tesla. It's never going to be a NIO. It's never going to be a high performance car, but that's what they're going for. They're going for a slightly different target market. This car almost reminds me of a smart car. If you don't know what a smart car is, this is a smart car. It's very small, 2-door. This thing actually has 2 seats and 4 wheels, but it's almost like a variation of a smart car, almost even smaller, right? So interesting model. Now let's quickly jump into the share price graph, and let's do a little bit of analysis on this to see if there's any money to be made here as investors. So as you can see, I've pulled up Solo's share price graph. You can see for the year it was bubbling around the $1 mark. It had this boom, massive pop here, dropped down, bubbling around the $2-3 mark, boom, popped up. We're at about $6. Interesting enough, the share price is up 10% on the day. So it's a stock that can move. It can really move for us investors. So it really kind of caught my eye. It's in that electric vehicle space, a booming industry. We know it's growing. We know it's got a lot of attention. So let's see if there's any money to be made here. So we're interested in this pop here. This pop around early November of 129%. Wouldn't it be nice to make 129% on your money that quickly for investing in a new electric vehicle car company? So first thing we need to do is understand why this company popped like that in early November. And that was because they released their Q3 earnings. Let's jump into their Q3 earnings and see what the highlights were and what got investors excited about this company. So the first thing to note from their results is that this company is pretty much pre-revenue. They made a slight 300K, but that was due to one-offs. This company has not made any customer deliveries yet. Now, this for us is interesting as investors because if they're able to make some money, we might make some good return off the back of that investing before they make any customer deliveries. So this is interesting to hold in mind. The reason why this company popped off like that was because they started commencement of production of their solo vehicles and they made their first shipment into the USA. Now these weren't for customer deliveries, they were for things like ROI, activities, press events, marketing, retail distribution, test drives, corporate advertising, but no customer deliveries. So the market has piled into this company, very excited for it. We know it's an EV company, so that sparks up a lot of interest, but it's pre-revenue. So we know its share price can explode on good news. And we know now what the market is waiting for. The market is waiting for these guys to deliver to customers. They're waiting for a nice customer order, and then you're going to see 2x on this share price. The share price is going to go from 6 to 12 in the day on some good news of delivery. So let's bear that in mind. We'll carry on going through the highlights of their third quarter to see if there's anything else we can pick out. The next thing that stood out to me was their cash balance. A very, very nice cash balance of 100 million Canadian dollars. This is a Canadian company. Now, what are they going to use this cash balance for? Well, that is, they're going to use it for their sales and marketing initiatives. So they've got a big push. They're setting up these retail stores in America, all over LA, California, to push this product, to get as much hype as they can, to get as much awareness and generate these sales. So their company strategy seems to be good. They have a cash balance, they've started production, and they're really focusing on that marketing effort to make deliveries. Now, when will they make deliveries? Well, management has said they're looking to make deliveries early next year. So they're using this Q4, which is now to the end of the year, to spend some of that cash to set up these retail stores and push the product as hard as they can to make customer deliveries. And when they make customer deliveries, this share price is going to appreciate very nicely for us investors. So there's a few additional reasons why Solo has caught my attention. Number one is that they're not a new company. This company was originally listed way back in about 2015. Now, these guys have been doing R&D for a lot of years. They've been monitoring the market, doing their R&D, getting their prototypes ready. They've had a bit of a rocky start, but they're now ready. They've now moved to production phase. So if you compare this to a company like Tesla, by all means, this is not a comparison to Tesla, but Tesla had a very flat start. Tesla was in production for many, many years, and as we know, a lot of their initiatives are still in production. So it does take time for an electric vehicle company to get their products to market. But oh boy, when they do, we've seen the power of what can happen when a company manages to fuse its R&D efforts with its marketing efforts and deliver its vehicles. So this is not a new company we're talking about. So this is an established player. This is an established company who has done R&D for many, many years and who's ready to attack the market. So I like them. I like the fact that they've got history behind them. Another reason why I like them is because they're attacking different segments of the market. We know that NIO and Tesla both target that mid to upper end. Now, when Tesla is able to get its battery prices down, it's going to be able to produce a cheaper model and get cheaper cars out of there and produce more of the middle to lower end consumers. But this is a cheap model of car. They're targeting kind of more of a niche section of the market. They're targeting people who want to make short trips, who like a bit of a quirky design, who are environmentally focused, and there's a lot of candidates in that market who will purchase Solo's cars. So I like the fact that they're going at it from a different angle, and they're not directly competing with a Tesla or a NIO or any of the other electric car makers. They're in their own different niche. Also, Solo are actually valued at $500 million. Now, we know that a lot of other electric vehicle manufacturers have very, very lofty valuations. If we look at a Tesla, that's a $400 billion company. If we look at a NIO, that's a $60 billion company. Rightly so, they are in a different phase of their life to a Solo, who is gearing up production for sales. And these companies actually have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of sales, but it does leave a lot of room for growth in their market cap. And as investors, if we're to invest now, if we believe in a company like Solo and invest in them, this company could 2x. This could be a $1 billion company, a $2 billion company, and you could 2, 3, 4x your money. So that is something to bear in mind. This company is cheap relative to the broader market, and at $6 a share, it's a very reasonable share price to jump in if you can handle the risk associated with Solo. So while I was doing my diligence on Solo, one thing that was interesting is they actually received some purchase order interest from Ideanomics. Now, Ideanomics are a company that distribute electric vehicles to fleet operators in China and globally. So Solo are actually getting some attention. You know, they're making moves to get their first few purchase orders. So this is interesting. You know, they've got the money, they've got the cars in production, and they're getting the interest for purchase orders. So it does sound like it could be a recipe for success. And once they get the first few purchase orders, it'll be rolling. They'll be rolling in. So I was very impressed to see Ideanomics showing some indication of interest for a purchase order, and it made me more positive on the stock. It's what I like to see. Now, an asset like Solo handles a lot more risk than an asset like a NIO or an Xpeng or a Tesla. Remember, this is a company that are only producing their cars now. They're waiting for purchase orders, and they will fulfill them once received. So this is a pre-profit company, pretty much a pre-revenue company as well. So the risk level associated with it is much higher. So that's something us investors must definitely take into account. But I'm a big fan of diversifying my EV portfolio. I'm looking to capture different markets. I'm looking to capture the American market. I'm looking to capture the Chinese market. I'm looking to capture the upper end consumer, the middle end consumer, the low end consumer, and the different niches of consumer like what Solo are targeting, to broaden my portfolio and make sure I capture revenue in all different angles. And that brings us to the end of today's video on Solo. Go and check them out. Do your diligence on Solo. Type in the comment section what you think of Solo. Are you investors? Are you going to invest? Let's get a conversation going. I've got a very, very exciting next video coming, and that is me analyzing NIO's Q3 results. I'm going to be spending a lot of time, many hours, picking through the line items, looking at their revenues, their margins, any upcoming initiatives they have, any delays on anything they have coming out, analyzing that and bringing out a detailed video to you guys. I'm very much looking forward to that. And I know I've got a lot of NIO supporters on this channel, so stay tuned for that. If you're new to the channel, please do hit that red subscribe button. We are growing very nicely as Stockflix. We are building a fantastic team and a fantastic community here, and hopefully we can all make some great money in the process. All I have to do now is just wish you a very, very, very good day. All the best.